It's 24 minutes onto the 7 o'clock hour. This is where we say good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, PD, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. Yeah. Morning, Eulin Alexander. Mildred Smith, good morning to you. Hope you're doing fine. Jillian McIntyre. Reminding you, it's a good day to have a good day in a good way. It's Thursday, the 5th day of June. Reverend Samuel Caesar, good morning to you and the entire family. To the Crossroads Radio family, good morning. Monica Mayrose Williams, good morning. Yolan Swan, good morning. How are you doing? On this journey, let's go to this message that my friend sends me every morning. And it says this morning, it's Thankful Thursday. Thank you, God, for always reminding me to choose to heal, not to hurt, to forgive, not to despise, to preserve, not to quit. To persevere rather, not to quit, to smile, not to frown, to love, not to hate, to bless, not to stress, and above all, be grateful for each and everything you have blessed me with. Amen. Yeah, thank you. Let's see, usually sends two, all right? Thursday blessings. Have a lovely day. Every word of God is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Amen to that. Yeah. Good. Good morning. Here I am trying to urge you and encourage you that you're not alone, whatever you're going through. Cicely Blackman, Joanne Brathwaite Batson, Sylvina Charles, Lauren Salim. Yeah, Lauren Salim. Good morning. Yulin loves this quotation, man. Thank you, Rev. Mama said. To the folks in the southern Grenadine Islands, good morning, Carriacou, Pretty Martinique, Myro Beckway, all of you, good morning. Yeah. Miss Wells, good morning. How do you do? Take my soul. Holy Spirit, fill my soul. Holy Spirit. As we head into the word of the day today is inevitable. 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 And it means certain to happen or unavoidable. It's inevitable. Yeah, certain to happen, unavoidable. Here's how we can use that word in a sentence. The team accepted the inevitable defeat with grace. Some folks must learn to do that, you know. Can't always win. Nice. 20 minutes on to 7. Morning, Debbie and family. How are you doing, Papi? All right? Still could play the guitar, right? Good morning to all the farmers and fisher folks of the nation. Those of you going out at sea, be very, very careful out there. Make sure you have the requisite equipment. So in the event of any eventuality, you can contact someone and people can locate you because of your instruments, all right? Nice. Nadisha, good morning to you. It's your time. It's time for the motivational tip of the day. Let's hear what it says this morning. From the land of his my God is, my God is, my God is, my God. Find your why. Worthy to be praised. My God is. Identify the deeper purpose behind your goals. A strong why keeps you driven. Yeah, why am I doing this? Why am I getting up so early in the morning to come to GBN? Well, you want to know why? My why is because I feel, it feels good to me to connect with people. Ian Felix, good morning to you. Dark Knight, good morning. The folks inside of Subies. Mr. Glenn Charles, good morning to you. Folks from Nawasa, yeah, good morning, good morning, good morning. Mr. Gabriel, good morning. What's happening? Nawasa. Buzzing this morning, Grenada receives over 5 million EC dollars in humanitarian aid donated by Saudi Arabia. In the region, the U.S. warns visa holders against traveling to the U.S. to give birth. Internationally, Trump's administration threatens Columbia University's accreditation. And in sports, Grenadian cricket star Afi Fletcher earned dual nominations for the 8th CWI Whipper Awards Gala. And while I don't have a complete story on it, but Grenada whooped Bahamas 6-0 last night. Wow. Football is on the rise. Mr. Marlon Glean on your team. Carl Lee, good morning. The coach, how are you doing? The coaching staff. Yeah, those are the buzzing stories this morning. We'll have more, coming up in the news. Anne-Marie John, good morning. Destined to win, overcomer. Thanks, and same to you, my dear. Ian Baker, blessings to the morning crew. Yeah, I like that. Those of you out there in the diaspora, you're making all the preparations to come home for the carnival season. Make sure you have all the preparations right, you understand? Come with all your meds and, everything, man. You're coming home. Nice. Good morning to you, Erlin. How you doing out there in the great US of A? Good morning to you. Hope you're doing fine. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Barbara Charles, good morning. Margaret and Gibbs, good morning. Valerie Farray, good morning to you. Hope you're doing fine. Folks, we're heading into the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather. Before we go, I want to say good morning to Michelle Daniel. The AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather comes up right after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
I have to tell you, I'm committed to us.
She made me feel some measure of warmth, maybe even passion.
If I decide to do this, I'll be doing it for you, no one else.
Labukan presents Rivals, playing at Labukan Creative Center, GCNA Complex, all weekends in May. Saturdays 8 p.m., Sundays 6 p.m. Tickets from Grenadian Optical, Labukan, and GoToFet at $75. Sponsors Brighton and Miners Limited, Knights Auto, Sandals, GBN, Republic Bank, Trios Auto, Co-op Bank, and Huggins. It's Rivals by Francis Urias Peters. Don't you miss it.
Your breaker come back, boy. Your breaker come back. Back.
Grenada is indeed beautiful and worth exploring. We firmly believe that you should be allowed to do so. Why not explore Grenada with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours? Whether you decide to explore Grenada with your family, spouse, or large group of friends, we are ready to welcome you. Our tours are guaranteed to leave you with wonderful memories of Grenada if you are visiting and excitement if you live here. Book a tour with us now by visiting our website www.jamessvcs.com. Call 1473-442-3769 or email info@jamessvcs.com. James Services Corp Off-Road Tours.
I am Dennis James Williams, owner and director of James Services Corp. Looking forward to welcoming you to the beautiful island of Grenada to explore with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours. See you soon.
Explore our beautiful island of Grenada from an angle that is unique and off-road, but equally fun. We are 100% family-friendly tours.
This is the GBN Morning News for today, Thursday, June 5th, 2025. Coming up in the news, Grenada receives over $85 million in humanitarian aid donated by Saudi Arabia. In the region, the U.S. warns visa holders against traveling to the U.S. to give birth. Internationally, Trump's administration threatens Columbia University's accreditation. And in sports, Grenadian cricket star Afi Fletcher earned dual nominations for the 8th CWI Weeper Awards Gala. We've got the details to this and more after these messages.
Served Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire and accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
Good morning. With the news in detail, I am Gordon Joseph. 21 containers filled with emergency relief supplies valued at over $85 million are now being delivered to communities across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. The aid includes food, chainsaws, diesel generators, flashlights, first aid and hygiene kits, and shelter materials. The supplies were handed over in January and are part of Saudi Arabia's global outreach through King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center. The National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, is leading the distribution, prioritizing vulnerable communities and key institutions such as police stations, health centers, and schools. Perishable items will be allocated based on expiration dates to ensure timely use. Prime Minister and Minister for Disaster Management, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, expressed gratitude, saying the donation will strengthen the country's emergency response and boost preparedness for the upcoming hurricane season. The government says the support reflects a deepening partnership between Grenada and Saudi Arabia and a shared commitment to global cooperation and sustainable development. A tripartite delegation from Grenada is attending the 113th International Labour Conference, the ILC, in Geneva, Switzerland. The delegation, led by Minister for Labour Senator Claudia Joseph, includes Labour Commissioners Sparkle Grenade Courtney, Senator Andrew Lewis, and Abina Peters. The ILC, the International Labour Organization's highest decision-making body, brings together delegations from 187 member states. This year's agenda includes discussions on decent work in the platform economy, protection against biological hazards, and tackling informality. Minister Joseph addressed the conference, highlighting challenges small island developing states face in regulating digital labor platforms. She emphasized the need for international labor standards to protect workers from exploitation and ensure basic labor rights. Grenada's participation demonstrates its commitment to meeting ILO obligations and contributing to international labor standards that benefit its citizens. The conference runs from June 2nd to 13th, 2025. And finally, the World Bank's Food Enhancement Security Project will start distributing purebred pigs to farmers this week. 10 livestock farmers will each receive a pig through a partnership with the veterinary division. 15 more farmers are being assessed and will receive pigs soon. The initiative aims to support local farmers and enhance food security in Grenada. We have more details in this report.
Minister for Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, Lennox J. Andrews, speaking ahead of Friday's distribution, described the investment of approximately $23 million as a serious indication of government's commitment in driving the agriculture sector forward. Our plan via this project, according to Minister Andrews, is to significantly boost the production of quality meat to satisfy first the local and then regional markets. Beneficiaries were chosen following an intense evaluation process which covers areas of infrastructure, husbandry, waste management, record keeping, and development plans. Chief Veterinary Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Dr. Kimon Cummings, highlighted the significance of the purebred animal project as one which aims to preserve genetic material so that Grenada can subsequently omit the need to continually import new genetics. A total of 468 animals were imported in January 2025, comprising of 144 pigs, 159 goats, and 165 sheep. The key objective of the project is to boost the production of meat, enhance the development of Grenada's genetic stock, and increase profitability, consequently improving the income and livelihood of farmers. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, Isaac Bagwan, is convinced that the investment would lead to great outcomes for farmers and the nation as a whole. This is the biggest investment the Ministry of Agriculture has ever made to date in the livestock sector, and given its objective, we expect nothing short of good returns and profitability for all livestock farmers. The Livestock Division is anticipating that in 3.5 years, the project will be at its peak in making a difference to the general livestock breed in Grenada, with an increase in meat production expected during the first year. Betty and Lazarus, Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry.
And that report concludes the local segment of news. Stay with us, the regional and international developments, along with the sports and the weather. They are straight ahead. Turning our attention to the region, the U.S. Embassy warned that using a visa to travel to the U.S. only for the purpose of giving birth to secure U.S. citizenship for the child is not allowed. Consular officers will deny visa applications if they suspect this is the intention. The warning, posted on the embassy's Facebook page, also cautioned that if someone with a visa travels to the U.S. for this purpose and uses government assistance for medical care, they may not be eligible to renew their visa. The U.S. has been cracking down on birth tourism, where women travel to the U.S. on visitor visas to give birth and grant citizenship to their children. The practice is considered a form of immigration fraud. Looking further afield, the Trump administration is considering revoking Columbia University's accreditation, citing alleged civil rights violation against Jewish students. President Donald Trump criticized Columbia and other U.S. universities for failing to protect Jewish students amid Gaza conflict protests. Education Secretary Linda McMahon accused Columbia of deliberate indifference towards Jewish students, harassment, violating federal anti-discrimination laws. Accreditation is crucial for universities to access billions in federal funding. The move escalates tensions over campus free speech and discrimination allegations. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order doubling tariffs on steel and aluminum imports to 50%. The move, effective Wednesday, raises import taxes from 25 to 50%, marking the second increase in March. Trump aims to protect the American steel industry, but critics warn of severe consequences. The tariffs could devastate foreign steel producers, trigger retaliation from trade partners, and burden American businesses relying on the metals. The hikes impact industries from automotive to food canning. And finally, the UN Security Council condemned the United States for vetoing a resolution calling for a ceasefire and unrestricted humanitarian access in Gaza. The 14-1 vote, with the U.S. casting the sole dissenting vote, sparked criticism from Council members. The resolution, which was blocked by the U.S., demanded an immediate and unconditional ceasefire, the release of hostages held by Hamas, and the lifting of restrictions on humanitarian aid into Gaza. U.S. Ambassador Dorothy Shea claimed the resolution would undermine diplomatic efforts and create a false equivalence between Israel and Hamas. Critics, including Pakistan and China, denounced the U.S. veto, calling it a moral stain and highlighting the worsening humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The veto marks the U.S.'s first such action since President Donald Trump took office. That's the regional and international news. Stay with us. The sporting highlights straight ahead, followed by the weather. Good morning, sporting fans. Grenada is proudly celebrating cricket star Afi Fletcher, who has earned dual nominations for the prestigious 8th CWI Whipper Awards Gala, which is set for June 22nd, 2025 at the Wyndham Grand Barbados Sam Lords Castle. Fletcher is shortlisted among the region's best in two major categories, the Women's T20 Player of the Year and the Women's ODI Player of the Year. These nominations highlight her exceptional bowling performances and steadfast leadership over the past year. Renowned for her sharp spin, clever variations, and composed presence, Fletcher continues to be a vital force in West Indies women's team. The CWI Whipper Awards Gala is a premier event on the West Indies cricket calendar, recognizing excellence across international and regional play. This year's ceremony will also mark a historic milestone, the 50th anniversary of the West Indies' iconic 1975 ICC Cricket World Cup win under Sir Clive Lloyd. The highly anticipated Whitsuntide Games are set to kick off this weekend at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. The two-day meet will feature athletes from Grenada and other Caribbean countries, including Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Antigua, Guyana, and Trinidad and Tobago. Grenada Athletics Association President Conrad Francis says the games have become a staple on their calendar. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has already made a strong statement with their early arrival, touching down at Port St. George on Wednesday. That's the sports at this time. We'll have more sports for you in our luncheon edition and, of course, in our prime time. The weather forecast is straight ahead.
Whether you're refreshing a bedroom or giving your home a bold new look? The Color Shop has the perfect paint and tools to make it happen, inside and out. With quality finishes for every surface and accessories to match, we make painting easy from start to finish. Whether it's a DIY weekend or a contractor starting a brand new project, the Color Shop is the trusted choice.
And folks, for the latest weather forecast, we join forecaster Jonathan Price at the Met Office of the MBIA. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning to you and good morning, listeners. Here is the weather for today, Thursday the 5th of June, 2025, as recorded at the Mars Bishop International Airport. It is currently fair. The winds are coming from the east at 15 miles per hour. Barometric pressure is 1014.4 millibars, which is above normal and rising. Present temperature is 28.3 degrees Celsius and relative humidity 70%. Yesterday's maximum was 30.9 degrees Celsius and the minimum last night 27.2 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, only a trace of rainfall was recorded, hence the total for the month remains at 0.4 millimeters. And now for the public forecast for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique weather for today and tonight. The weather is expected to be generally fair and slightly hazy, with brief light showers, with an increase in cloud cover and showers overnight. Today's max will be 31 degrees Celsius, with winds east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 13 to 23 miles per hour. Seas will be moderate, with waves up to 6 feet in open waters. High tide will be at 10 a.m. and low tide at 5 p.m. Sunset will be at 6:30 and sunrise at 5:42. Just to repeat the public forecast for today and tonight, the weather is expected to be generally fair and slightly hazy, with brief light showers, with an increase in cloud cover and showers overnight. From the forecast at Mars Bishop International Airport, I'm Jonathan Price. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Have yourself a great day likewise. Folks, the weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of Rennick & Thompson Company Limited. It's 3 minutes after 7 o'clock to end the news, a recap of the headlines. Locally, Grenada receives over $5 million in humanitarian aid donated by Saudi Arabia. In the region, the U.S. warns visa holders against traveling to the U.S. to give birth. Internationally, Trump's administration threatens Columbia University's accreditation. And in sports, Grenadian cricket star Afi Fletcher earned dual nominations for the 8th CWI Weeper Awards Gala, and Grenada defeat Bahamas 6-0 in the CONCACAF qualifier held last night at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. That has been the morning edition of news for today, Thursday, June 5th, 2025. On behalf of the entire news department, I am Gordon Joseph, thanking you for listening and viewing, wishing you a productive day, and extending that invitation to you to stick and stay with the network, because we are with you anywhere and everywhere. Reminding you to stay with us at 10 minutes after 7 o'clock. We've got the local traffic report.
Yes, Grenada, it's what we've been waiting on. The countdown to the Maggie, King of the Grill. It's back at its legendary home, Montrouge Playing Field. Grand End on Saturday, June the 7th. The Flames return with Grill Masters battling for glory. All the action starts at 12 noon. Then from 6 p.m., we go stateside for live entertainment by the Caress Band. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. Loads loads of attraction for the kids, bouncy castle, games, and plenty of fun for the little ones while we indulge in smoky goodness. Don't miss the vibe, the flavor, the fierce competition. King of the Grill 2025 is back and better than ever. It's the King of the Grill 2025. Maggie King of the Grill, brought to you by Maggie, the secret of great flavor. Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Class Code, Grenada's #1 rum. Grenada Paper Products, Classic Lightning Caribbean, Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, Budget Foods, where quality and affordability call home. Sandals Resort, Flow, Glenelg Spring Water, Blue Bubbles PA Rentals and Event Supplies, Innovation Grenada Limited, and Rubis, Fuel and Grills in competition. It's the Maggie King of the Grill 2025. Be there.
The Mass officially starts now as Spice Mass Cooperation together with Aura Caribbean is turning up the thing all the way up with Carnival City Fusion Thursdays. It all kicks off on Thursday, May 29th and continues every Thursday into June. We're bringing the vibes to the Port Louis lawn. Gates open 7 p.m. Action starts 8 p.m. Get ready for live performances from your favorite soca, groovy, and calypso artists, plus the sweet sounds of steel band, live bands, and all the mass elements you love. Veko, Jab Jab, Shortney, Moko Jumbi, Apache, and more. It's more than a line. It's a whole carnival experience. So grab your crew, bring the energy, and come let's celebrate where culture meets pure excitement. Carnival City Fusion Thursdays, Port Louis Lawn, beginning May 29th and continues every Thursday into June. Come, let's play a mass, cause the thing start.
If you're 50 years and over or turning 50 in 2024, our 50 plus car insurance is perfect for you. It's loaded with free benefits like loss of use, special perils, and windscreen cover up to $2,500. Getting to 50 is filled with ups and downs. Let's celebrate these moments together and look forward to 50 more. Call Beacon Insurance at 440-4447 or log on to beacongrenada.com to get a free quote today. Special conditions apply.
Attention all divers, snorkelers, and underwater enthusiasts. Effective May 15th, 2025, all visitors to the renowned Mullinair Underwater Sculpture Park will be required to pay a small fee of US $3.50 or EC $10 per person. These fees are essential to support the ongoing maintenance and repairs of the sculptures, as well as the development of new features to ensure the park remains a world-class attraction. Payment can be made through the Grenada Tourism Authority's online payment portal, available on the Pure Grenada website, www.puregrenada.com. We thank you for your support in enhancing this extraordinary underwater product. This announcement is brought to you by the Grenada Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism, dedicated to protecting and conserving Grenada's resources for the enjoyment of all.
Take the first step to home your way with Nexa, where dreams of your perfect home are within reach. Follow your unique path to home ownership with the comforts you always envisioned. A space where every corner reflects your style and every room is filled with your memories. Whether you're buying land or your first house, building or remodeling your home, Nexa's Home Your Way loan is designed to fit your needs with flexible rates, friendly terms, and the support of a community that cares. Home Your Way. Your home, your dreams, your way. Start with Nexa. Call 440-1354. Visit nexacreditunion.com or email loans@nexacreditunion.com.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Mobility, a common theme woven into the very fabric of human history. From ancient wanderers to modern explorers, our instinct to move, to seek something greater, and to grow has always driven us forward. Imagine a journey into pathways of boundless opportunities and endless possibilities. A collective future where the vibrant rhythms of the Caribbean, rich culture, and welcoming community create unforgettable experiences. Beyond citizenship by investment, we believe in our collective investment of time, resources, and energy that fosters innovation, creates jobs, and enriches lives, driving the growth of an entire nation. The Investment Migration Agency Grenada boasts over a decade of exceptional service and remains committed to guiding you toward global mobility and economic freedom through investment. Your journey becomes our shared story of progress and prosperity. This is an invitation to be part of something greater, something enduring. Begin your journey at imagrenada.gd. IMA Grenada. Unlock the possibilities.
All right, folks, it's 10 minutes after 7 o'clock, and I now join Corporal Troy Paul for this morning's traffic report. Good morning, Corby.
Hey, good morning to you and also to your listeners. As it's that time again for your morning traffic report. It's Thursday morning, and we will give you that update that you need to get to work on time and to get to work safely. This morning is rather a quiet morning, especially in the town of St. George's and most of the entire Grenada. We got a little bit of update from the western side. It is rather quiet with moderate traffic. Even to the towns of Grenada as well, it is rather moderate at the moment. Even as well in town, similar to yesterday, it is moderate at time. As we know, there's a custom in relation to certain areas such as the Calivini Public Road, the Toby Road, and also the Grand Nance Public Road. We're seeing similar trends in those areas in terms of traffic. So these traffics are moderate at the moment, as I have stated, within the next hour and the next half hour and to 45 minutes. We expect to see a build-up up to heavy flow of traffic in those areas. Even to the town of St. George, it is light at the moment. Moderate flow of traffic from the St. Paul's Public Road heading into the city. Also, Maras Hill as well. From the western side, as I stated, it is light, but we know persons who attending work for the 8 o'clock will normally be proceeding in most of those areas, and that's why we expect that build-up in the traffic at that time. However, we have no accidents or obstructions on any one of those roads at the time. That is reported from most of the stations and department on also persons on patrol. So that is more or less the traffic update for this morning. Traffic is flowing smoothly at the time with no obstruction, no accidents along our roads. One traffic tip for this morning, we want persons to be reminded that once you're about to drive or leave from where you are parked, be mindful that you must wear your seatbelt. It is a law in the states of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and there's a saying, seatbelts save lives. So wear your seatbelt every time you're about to move off your vehicle. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Corporal Paul, Troy Paul, and I just want to ask you a simple question before you leave.
Sure.
If you are texting, who's driving?
A very important question. I remember. I see that you didn't forget last.
I love it.
Yes.
If you're texting, who's driving?
Who's driving?
Yes. Have a good day to you and your entire department, and by extension, the rank and file of the RGPF.
Thanks again, and I want to say good morning to all your listeners as well, and get to work safely this morning.
Thank you very much. All right, folks, that has been the traffic report for today, and we were speaking there with Corporal Troy Paul from the traffic department of the RGPF. We take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I talk with some representatives from the Ministry of Agriculture, the veterinary department, as we talk about the distribution of the purebred pigs. We'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Of
Calypso's Powerhouse, Big J, and Sour Supper are launching for 2025. Calypso Power Launch on Saturday, June 7th at the Lassages Had Court in St. David from 8 p.m. featuring Calypso, Toka Kaiso, and X-Tempo. Come here, Big J's new offerings for 2025. Plus Sour Supper celebrating 20 years this year. Plus Junior Monarch Morty, Royalty, Shabak, Calypso Monarch Innocent, The Great King Darius, Squeezy, Smallies, and more. All backed by the Heatwave Band with MC Senator. Early bird tickets are $30. General admission $40. Available at Lixon Bikes, Grenadian Optical, St. David's Pharmacy, and Jew at Lotto in Grenville. Sponsored by Cocoa Breeze Bar, Hanky's Grenada, Kiskate, Chopstick, A-Bun Distributors, Tyrrell Bay Express, Paddy's Shipping, Wagiti Rental, and Dana's Tasty Food. Endorsed by the Spice Mass Corporation.
Sporting fans, ready yourselves for the most anticipated Winston Tide Games, June 7th and 8th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come support our athletes as they compete with some of the region's best in the field events and on the tracks. Save the date, June 7th and June 8th, Winston Tide Games at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Stay tuned for more info. Winston Tide Game 2025.
Looking to shop online from your favorite stores like Amazon and Shein? With GPC Global, it's never been easier. Get your very own US address and shop from around the world. With GPC Global, you can order the latest trends and must-have items, all delivered straight to Grenada to your closest post office for your pickup. We offer the cheapest rates, and our service is reliable and quick. No more waiting for weeks for your packages. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Join the Grenada Postal family today and start shopping smarter. Visit us online at www.grenadapostal.com or call us on 437-POST. That's 437-7678. GPC Global, your gateway to the world.
Welcome, viewers and listeners, to the conversation this morning. As I promised, I do have with me two doctors, Dr. St. Bernard and Dr. Cummings. Dr. Cummings is the Chief Veterinary Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands, Forestry, and a whole trail of other portfolios. And Dr. St. Bernard is with him this morning. You heard it in the newscast, the distribution of the purebred pigs. That's primarily the conversation this morning. But I want to engage them on that whole package, that the importing of the purebred animals, all part and parcel of enhancing our nation's food security program. So it's a good time to say good morning, doctors.
Good morning.
Yeah, all this sound real good there. We'll do background vocals from here. Yeah, all right. Okay, so Dr. Cummings, I know very well. My good friend, Dr. St. Bernard, I don't know too well, but I'm certain that by the end of the conversation, I'll have a better appreciation for whom he is and where is he. Where are you from?
I'm from Manjulu, St. George.
Okay, yeah. All right. Close to the Manjulu Church of God around there?
Close enough, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That was one of my churches as a little boy growing up. You know, we visit there for quarterly and stuff like that.
Okay.
Have you visited that church?
I think I have when I was younger.
Okay. Which is not so long ago.
Not so long ago.
All right,
exactly.
Good. Lovely.
That's a compliment.
Good, lovely. So, we're talking about this whole initiative with the importation of the purebred animals. You're both doctors, so anybody can go first. I would not have any specific questions for any specific person. That initiative, what, from the ministry's perspective, how important and timely is that initiative?
Okay, so I can start, and I want to say pleasant good morning to your viewers and pleasant good morning to yourself.
Thank you.
So as we know, COVID 2020 has kind of created a not so much of a good impact on our food security system. What we noticed is during the crisis, and I mean, we kind of don't like to really admit it, but there was serious shortages, and not just shortages, but there are serious dependencies, and on our outside neighbors and our outside friends. I can recall during the COVID having to leave constantly to come down to the ministry to sign permits to allow the importation of meat to come into the a large consignment and containers of meat to come into the country. So it was post COVID. The food security project kind of came to life from that pandemic. It's more or less a pandemic response, right? And there are different components of the project. Component 4 is specifically the livestock. And the livestock end of things is supposed to be able to address the protein shortages. So what we, from our end as the technocrats, is to find a way to make this initiative a sustainable initiative that we can see long-term impact. And that's where we decided as a team, when we started the project design, that we're going to import some purebred animals, start breeding them on island, preserve the genetics. We can now improve our food security. We can improve livelihoods, right, and increase the availability of protein on the market. So Dr. St. Bernard here, who is my colleague also, has been very instrumental in working along with us with the project. So we had sleepless nights. I mean, I want to also give some credit to Mr. Nugent Bernard, who has been the coordinator of the project. So all three minds would have come together, and there were other team players, obviously, but we've been the technical persons involved with the project, leading the project from behind the scenes as to all the fine details, how the project should be rolled out, what we want, what breeds of animals we want. Dr. St. Bernard here was very instrumental in crafting the breeding program. We've done a lot of work behind the scene, but as I said, for us is to make sure that we can preserve the genetics, ensure that we can see that long-term impact. Because what we know is we've seen a lot of persons would have imported genetics, and within a short space of time they'd have lost the genetics. You lost that good hybrid vigor, and after a while you just realize it's just not there. So we would have come up with a sustainable approach as to how we can keep that genetics, continue multiplying that genetics, continue seeing that impact in terms of good growth rate, good meat, feed meat conversion ratio, and we can impact livelihoods in the long term. It's not a short-term response. So although the project was designed to address the food security issue, post-pandemic, we've seen an opportunity to create a long-term impact from that intervention.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, another quick question that comes to mind in terms of getting, I know the advanced work, the beforehand work in terms of technically drafting out the plan and so forth. In terms of identifying which breeds of animals would be most effective here, that can stand the test of our climatic change. So in terms of the acclimatization and ability to really deal with our climatic conditions and so forth, were those things taken into consideration very seriously?
Yes, good morning. Good morning to your viewers and listeners. Thank you for having us here on your program to discuss this very important matter. Yeah, something that we've been, as Dr. Cummins said, we're working very hard, towards getting it to this stage. And now as it's here, we're very excited. To answer your question, so as we know historically, Grenada used to do very well with livestock. All right. In fact, we were reputable in the region.
That's a long time ago.
A long time ago.
A long time ago.
All right. So even though we're young guys, we would have done our research. So we done our research.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you did that in history.
We
you studied history.
The
right?
research, and also looking at the traits of the animals that presently exist on island. All right. So for example, we can see if we go around the island, we'll see the dominant traits of the pigs would be duroc or the large white. So we know, well, these traits were sustainable over the years. They would have adjusted to very well to our management system, and also our environment. All right. So that would have guided our decision. So we definitely included large white. We included the duroc in our selection, and we decided to introduce a new one, the Berkshire. We want to give that one a try. Yeah. And also the landrace. All right, which also we can still see traits of it from during the glory years, the livestock glory years. So these traits have survived, and it's the same thing we did in regards to the goats. All right, because we know traditionally Grenada had a lot of dairy type goats. Yeah, so Saint and Alpines, they tend to be very resistant to the parasites. We did include some boas. Yeah. But not as many as with the Saint and Alpine, and also the Anglo-Nubian. All right. So again, it's based on the research, based on what we knew historically, and based on what we can see on the ground. All right. So that is the approach we took. We took that same approach with the sheep as well. All right. So our decision was based on research and based on observation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and a very critical thing that comes to mind is that. You mentioned the different breeds that were looked at and so forth. I'm big on pork, right? I'm big on pigs. Okay, in my humble opinion, yeah, we love the large white. They do fast and things like that. But in terms of their maternal care, I am of the opinion that the landrace would always surpass them in that, in the way they take care of the young ones. But notwithstanding that, whatever breed is brought, I am certain that you all would have sought for the best breed that will acclimatize to our conditions here. But in terms of the education of the farmers, because if we are not careful, we can soon lose the breed or contaminate the breed, because we still have farmers who are in the practice of inbreeding, and that could destroy the breed that even the good breed that you're bringing in. So are there any efforts being placed into the education of farmers? I mean, I am good with that. I could go out and train the farmers on that. But generally speaking, was there an educational drive to get farmers up to date?
So I'll start, and then I'll leave it over to Dr. St. Bernard. He'll discuss the breeding program in detail. So prior to the animals coming in, we had a series of engagement as to who are the farmers that we started formulating criteria as to who are the farmers we can select, what kind of farmer we want to include into our breeding program. And we're that serious about it because it's not rocket science. Like every country that you go in that has a sustainable livestock project or livestock sector, it's the same thing they would have done. You select farmers who you can identify that have the resources, they're trainable, and you can pump the resources into them, whether it's financial resources, whether it's the animals, whether it's concessionary support, whatever it is that you pump into them, and you can see the results expanded in front of you. So what we would have done is to sit down and come up with a criteria as to who are the farmers we can work with that are trainable, they have the resources, and they understand the long-term impact of this project. And this is how serious this project is, because we would have had a lot of requests, a lot of ad hoc requests. Oh, I want an animal. Oh, I want an animal. Well, apart from the welfare aspect of things, and we need to start dealing with the production aspect of things. Are you capable? Are you trainable? Do you have the resources, right, to be part And do you understand the long-term vision and the commitment to be part of this breeding program? Because it's a commitment, and it's a serious commitment to be part of this program, because as we said prior, there's a lot of work that happened behind the scenes, right? With the team, we have the finance people, the procurement people. There are sleepless nights, right? Getting this project to this stage. Now, to implement the project, you need to make sure that you have persons who understand the vision, and they can move forward with the project. So over the couple, we would have done our homework, audit the farmers, interviews. There were phone interviews, there were face-to-face interviews, and we as a team would have sit down and go through the document, and there were a list of criteria that we were grading each farmers on. There were certain areas that we were grading on, and this is how serious we take this thing, because as you rightly mentioned, if it's not properly managed, we can lose the genetics, and it can be lost quite quickly. I mean, literally, I can give you a pig, one of these, you will still have the boars, but within a few years, his phenotype or his traits is just disappearing. So
there's no continuity.
No. So a doc here would go into detail with you as to what the breeding program is going to be about. It's a rigorous program. So when you listen, you would understand why we took that approach.
Okay, Doc.
All right. So yes. So as Dr. Cummins mentioned, so critical to this breeding program would be our partner and farmers. Okay, so all the farmers who's gonna be recipients of the male animals, they're our partners. All right, so this is more or less a public-private partnership. Okay, so let's discuss the pigs as an example. All right, so let's say we're working with Farmer John. All right, we would have done all our assessment. He met the criteria as Dr. Cummins mentioned, and we decide we're gonna place a Duroc bull. Okay, well, let's say large white, because you said you love large white. All right, so let's say we place a large white bull on his farm. All right, so what would happen now is that large white bull will breed all of his females, okay, to produce an F1 generation. So it's a first generation, okay, and that first generation will have 50% large white genes, 50% local genes. All right, and the whole goal is we want to improve, right, the genetics to the point of at least 96% of the large white. So when we create that F1, within that F1 population, we're gonna select the best females. All right, so let's say we end up with 30 females, right, in total. We might select 10 because the 10 meet the criteria for breeding. Okay, so
that's from a scientific perspective, right?
Yes.
Scientific assessment
together with the farmer, because we're going to train the farmer. He's going to be involved in the selection. All right, because we believe in empowering the farmers as well. So those females now going to be bred again with that large white bull to create F2. So we're going to do a line breeding now. So all right, so when we create that second generation, so everything below that goes to the market.
Okay.
So all the undesirable males and all the males and all the undesirable females of that F1 generation goes to market. So they will be fattened for slaughtering. Okay. So which means within that first year we'll already have an increase of pork on the market, because these animals now will put on weight a lot faster. They will mature earlier. All right, supporting the meat market. So the F1 desirable females gets bred. They produce the F2 to get with that same bull. Yeah, and then once we get that F2, the same thing happens. The best females would go forward. All right, we get a new bull now that's going to produce now F3 and F4.
Okay.
All right.
That's third and fourth generations.
Yes, and then another bull will come and produce the F5. So once a farmer produces 2 generations, okay, with that bull now is going to go to our next farm.
Okay.
All right, and he's going to receive a bull from another farm. But we're going to have farmers in a cohort with the same breed. So all the large white farmers will be in a group, okay, and the bull's going to rotate among them. Okay, produce the 2 generation, rotate, produce the 2 generation.
So you're going to take away that initial bow that was given to farmer A.
Yes.
And after it would have done what it was.
Right, 2 generation.
Yeah. Okay.
Then, so in that way now, we would create what we call a spice large white, because at the 5th generation, those pigs would now be 96% large white. And guess what? Pure large white. And we will title them spice large white, and we're going to register them. All right, so Grenada now will have a registry with registered purebred animals. Okay.
Let me ask this. Whereas you emphasize on the boar, right? You're bringing a boar to the farm.
Yes.
Now, would you do an assessment with the available sows that are on the farm to make sure that the genetics and the whole physical presence and being is up to scratch, that when they mate with that bow, the compatibility will give a desire? Because I've visited some farms and I wouldn't buy the pork. And so would that assessment be done to see the quality of the sows that are on the farm that will be used in that breeding program?
Well, just to add to that, as we said, there's a very tight selection criteria. And I probably may not have mentioned, but apart from the farmer being trainable, having all the resources, everything that I mentioned prior, we also took into account welfare, his husbandry practices, the quality of his animals is also a factor that we tie in, because we want to make sure that you work with farmers that have very good sows. Again, welfare is a critical concern for us. We want to make sure that the animals are properly taken care of. We ain't going in a farm and introduce a boar that loaded of mites. We know within a week or so he's going to take the mites and he goes start to scratch. And if the animals are stressed, we know they can't do well. Right, so this is something that we also did consider, but the quality of the animals, yes, we do have a lot of farmers out here that have some really good sows that give good numbers, very good conformation, and they're doing quite well. So I always, on every platform that I go in, I give a lot of our farmers a lot of kudos, because they're the driving force behind our food security program. Yeah.
There has been a school of thought, right? I was, trending along that line as well. I can remember making those comments that we don't have a problem here in Grenada for animals, right? We have a problem for feeding them. So in the bid of trying to secure food, as you say, the protein aspect of it, why not make the feed cheaper, so that if the feed is cheaper, in less than no time you can get a high number of animals? But having just explained the format for getting to the spice pigs, I really appreciate that. But the other thing, was that taken into consideration, the physical structures? Because, for example, not very many farmers in Grenada have farrowing crates. So in terms of safeguarding the young ones, if the farm is not equipped enough, then you could have a good bow and good sows, but the conversion from newborn to fatteners could dissolve in thin air.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'll lead Doctor to that.
Yes. And again, before getting to this point, like we said, we did assessment on a number of farms. In fact, since even before the thought of this project, we were on the ground looking at pig farming in Grenada, and we have identified a lot of the gaps. There are a number of gaps, including high piglet mortality. All right, so a farmer will a sow would give 12, 13 piglets, and he would wean like 8, which is not good for business, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm guilty of that.
Okay. We realize that, yes, most farmers, not all, most farmers do not utilize the technology of a farrowing crate, okay? And that will significantly change or improve on the number of weaning piglets they're going to have.
But are they readily available on island? Or can they be made here? Or?
Yes, two things. Yes, they can be made here, all right? They can be made in our welding shop, all right? And then also, they can also be imported. In fact, we have identified a company in the U.S., all right, who is willing to produce and ship to Grenada. All right, so that's going to be what we call a technology introduction, more or less, you know, because most farmers not familiar with it and its benefits. So that is something that we're going to unroll within the next 2 months or so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Take my name one time. I need that because I keep losing piglets. All right. Well, Doc, you know that.
Yeah.
You know that.
And the bigger they are, the higher the mortality. Yeah, because their weight when they go on the piglets, they crush them.
It's sad. It's sad to have a sow that delivers 17 and you end up with 8.
Yeah.
That's painful.
And that's likely to be a large white that they make many piglets.
Yeah. Okay. In terms of the new pigs that you're introducing, and we're talking pigs primarily, would they be good with the feed that is produced here, the quality of our feed and so forth, or will we have to be bringing in their ration with them? You know, some tourists, when they come with a little snack for themselves.
I could take some of that and you take some? Go on,
So what we know, you know, these pigs have been genetically bred for good feed conversion ratio. All right, so you know, whatever they're fed, once it's a balanced diet, they have an increased ability to convert that to growth and muscle development. Okay. So we're confident that they have that ability built into them. All right. So farmers should definitely see an increase in profit. They should be able to, these pigs would mature earlier and they will bring them to market earlier. And obviously there will be a reduced cost of production.
Even with the quality of the feed we have here?
Yes.
Because you would find some farmers saying that the food that we have, the feed we have on the local market is like West Indies cricket.
No, so I can defend that, you know, because a couple of years back I was in Suriname. The guys were doing the Topic 70 pigs. Lovely pigs. I remember, actually, this is what I wanted to introduce instead when we started the project, you know, right? Because I see how it grew. Like, them pigs were, I think when I got there, they were 3.5, 4 months. It was already 70 kilos, right? And I remember the farmer saying to me, if you're serious about pigs, first you need to make sure you have good genetics. Secondly, you need to have good food. So, as Doc alluded to earlier, it's been quite a long time since we introduced any good genetics. So most of, and it's a small island, it's a small gene pool, so most of our pigs are related somehow, because, I mean, you would take a bull from
farm
school. Most people go to the farm school, most people go to the prison, and then the genetics is just going to spread around. What you would see is that inbreeding impression. So if you look at most of our pigs, including the large white, so you might see some Duroc, but they don't have the Duroc conformation, they just have the phenotype of the Duroc, just the color, right?
And a little appearance.
Right? So because the genetics is not there, it doesn't matter what you really pump in there. So I'll give you a good example, right? And I always tell people that I can give you a Rottweiler and I could take a Portong. You could just give your Rottweiler, I don't know what you want to feed.
Chicken bone.
Maybe some chicken bone. He could still have a big paw. He could still have a big head. He wouldn't have much body on him, but it's a Rottweiler. Genetically, he was bred to be a certain way, right? I can give my Portong the best food. Trust me. It wouldn't be a
Rottweiler.
It would never look like him. So this is how I see the pigs, right? And most of our animals. Because we already have that inbreeding depression, it really doesn't matter what you pump into it. You cannot get much out of it again. So that's why this project is timely. It ties in everything in that we understand what's going on the ground, and we addressing the shortcomings. One of it is genetics.
Okay. All right, Dr. Cummings, you addressing the shortcomings. Dr. Cummings addressing the shortcomings. Okay, so after doing your assessment nationally, are you satisfied that the farmers that are available, they're up to par, that they can make this project a success?
I believe so. We have a number of farmers, and our farmers are at different levels. All right, some are more advanced than others. All right, so obviously, we're going to work with the more advanced one initially. All right, so they're going to be the first set to receive the bows. All right, because we just need to tighten up a few gaps. All right, but no farmer will be left behind. All right, so those that are at a lower level, we have a rigorous training program coming up. In fact, we've started a Pig Farmers Association. Okay, which recently within the last 2 months.
Good morning, Richard Simon.
And the reason for doing that is is to work with them. All right, so we're gonna have a training module. All right, so that training module will address all aspects of pig husbandry. Okay, so we believe after the training, the series of training, most of them will increase at least by 1 level or 2, and this is going to be ongoing and based on assessment. So when we train, we will give them some time, go out there and reassess them. All right, and from that finding, we're going to decide what's our next step in terms of training. All right?
Let me ask this: in the interest of food security, if we really want to be big on this, has the government taken any thought of making lands available where we can see farmers like myself? I want my dream, right? I'm saying it openly. My dream is to get my pigs stocked to a level where in a year, or let's be realistic, 2 years, I can have 2 or 3 refrigerated trucks on the road selling locally produced pork. But in order to do that, I have to mass produce. And land availability is a problem. So as the government because that could actually complement this food security program from a protein perspective. If farmers have the land, resources are made available to them that they can develop their farms, physical structure and so forth, and then we can really start implementing those new scientific approaches that are forthcoming. So if, for example, now lands are available to me and the resources are there, financial support and so forth, it will be imperative that I build my farm with farrowing crates and the proper watering structure and the suck away and everything like that for hygienic purposes and everything like that. So has the government taken that into consideration?
So I'll answer your question with just some mere statistics, and I think that's all I can say.
Okay, you can't go above the pig grade.
Don't want to tap into that, but what I can say to you is 90% of lands is privately owned. The government owned probably about 10% or less.
That's sad.
Yeah, and something I want to...
It's just the land distribution.
I want to add to that, most pig farmers could produce more pigs than they're currently producing. So the stocking density that we realize they're very low. So we would see our farmer would have a unit, okay, and the unit has the capacity to hold 10 pigs, and he only has 2 pigs in it.
Yeah.
And that is consistent. So I mean, I'm not going to use you as an example. I was tempted, but
you could. So you could please. Might beat me.
Yeah. Yes. So can you give us an example of one of your units? In terms of size.
I was asked that in a telephone interview the other day.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact. I have to get the exact size, but I must admit that my units are underutilized.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So for one pig requires 8 square foot. 1 square foot, all right, and that is not because pigs, they do not require
1 pig, 1 square foot.
8 square foot, 8 square feet.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 square feet for 1 pig. Okay, and based on our assessment, like I said, the average farm would have 1 pig in like 30 square feet. Yeah. So again, just by maximizing space, we could have a significant increase in pig production without additional need for land.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But I am certain that all these things will come up in your education drive.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
We're running out of time, so let's get into the actual distribution of the pigs now. When will that start?
So the Friday, that's tomorrow.
Okay.
We have an official ceremony, which is the handing over ceremony. Then we would have a date selected, I believe. I don't think it's going to be next week because the PS travels on next week and I travel next week as well. So it's most likely the week after that. The farmers who are selected as recipients, they would come to the ministry to sign the agreement.
The memorandum of understanding?
No. A MOU is it's a gentleman's agreement. An agreement is an agreement.
Okay.
We're holding you to it.
Okay.
A contract. It's a contract.
Yeah.
All right.
And what does that contract entail?
I can't. That's for legal to speak on.
Okay. All right.
But it's and this is how serious the project is because both parties should know what the expectations are on either side of the table. And as you know, we implementing a breeding program. The recipients are going to sign the documents, and then they can receive the pig.
Okay.
But during the ceremony, the animals would already be selected for you, but you can only collect it after you sign your agreement.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And that's on tomorrow?
That's tomorrow at Maribor, the Maribor Farm School, 3 p.m.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
There's some lovely animals. I know the farmers are going to be overly impressed because the honest truth is there have been so much different conversation around the animals coming in. Good PR, bad PR, and for us it's always laughable because we communicate quite often. So we just we hear it and we just laugh. But the quality, especially the pigs. Oh God, man.
Don't say that, you.
Remember, they're for breeding, not for eating. I find your mouth start watering.
No. The strange thing about it is, my grandmother grew me up rearing pigs, at a subsistence level. So we always had 2 pigs in the backyard, and as a little boy, you'd go and collect. In those days, we call it dirty water. God, you go for the dirty water already. I mean, we pass with a liquor bucket and pass by all household with the leftovers. So that's how we fed pig. So I have this intimate passion about pigs, not so much about eating it. That's my comfort zone. Go up in the mountains and bathe my pigs and look at them dance. About that. That's therapeutic for me, So, but another quick question. Let's assume, for example, someone like me, for some reason, I don't get one of your breeding stock. How difficult is it for me to say, okay, I'm going to import a stock for myself?
Oh, it's not hard at all. It's absolutely not hard. All you need to do is to find a supplier in the US or wherever part of the world that you decide to import it from. But from our end, we would do our risk assessment, ensuring that wherever this animal is coming from, the risk is negligible and it doesn't possess any problems for our existing stock. Right? Once we do the assessment and we're happy, we issue the import permit. And normally how it works is our import permit has the import requirement on it. Now the exporting country, which is the country that you sourcing the animal from, once they can satisfy our import requirement, the process is
right. So, and I'm asking the same question as it relates to feed. Can a farmer independently say, okay, there's a very good quality of feed coming out from Miami. I want to bring in a container of feed for myself?
We just recently signed an invoice because the permit actually has to come from pest management, not from the vet and livestock. This is plant-related products for consignment of feed. I can't recall the quantity, but that was for his livestock, and it was for personal use.
You can do that?
Yes.
Oh, okay, right.
But it's for personal use.
Personal use. Yeah. It can be sold.
I don't know all the fine details with it, but
it's for personal use.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the project rolls off tomorrow. What's next? The pigs are being distributed tomorrow. We have sheep, we have goat, we have cattle.
Right. The sheep and goat, I'll let Doctor take that. There's some little technical bits that we kind of dealing with behind the scenes with respect to the small ruminants. So we're not quite comfortable yet to get them out to the public. Although I remember when the animals came in, we had a quarantine time, and we were going to release them after that certain amount of time. But based on what is happening behind the scenes, and it has to be it's really just health-wise.
Okay.
Acclimatization. And so forth.
Exactly.
It's not safe for us to send them out as yet. I think sending them out is not the best in terms of,
Another quick question, especially with the pigs, have you had any mortality with those that you brought in?
We had one pig that suddenly died. They just got there and she just passed on. Well, really and truly, we got the report back, and it was really and truly a high carbohydrate diet because we had some good food that came in, and she kind of fit into the signalment. She's a young 4-6-month-old pig, good genetics, good feed, and she just engorged herself and enjoyed herself a little bit too much, so we lost her. And crazy enough, when she went down, she was about 5 months, right?
Yeah, she couldn't.
She was 5 months. She maxed the scale. She passed to 50 grams.
She couldn't fit on the scale.
I hope you know she's going to hell. Gluttony is a sin. You can't eat too much.
And again, it speaks about the genetic abilities of these pigs. They convert feed efficiently, all right, even to the point where it can be detrimental. Yeah.
Are you distributing only bows, or would sows be available?
Only bows.
Only bows.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I already have some bows that is already 300 pounds already passed, I believe. And they're not even 8 months yet.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's just all I can say. Wow. I am fascinated with the thought of it. How soon will I get caught? Soon.
Yeah, very soon. Very soon. Very soon.
I look forward to that. Anything you thought we missed out that you'd like to disseminate?
Nothing really. Again, it was a pleasure being here. Having to discuss livestock in its entirety. I mean, not fully in its entirety, but the project in its entirety, really, because there's other aspects of livestock that we're dealing with also.
I am big on education, right? Especially for farmers, because in order to get the desired result, we must have the tools. And education is a fundamental part of it. You can't expect the farmer to give you the best practices if he doesn't know it. So would it be asking too much if at least once a month someone from the veterinary department drop by and just, share some ideas and, maybe taking a couple questions, clarifications, and so forth? Would that be asking too much?
I don't think so.
No, we would. In fact, we would love to.
Yeah,
we would love for every opportunity to provide education. And I just want to say for all pig farmers out there, like I mentioned, we have a new Pig Farmers Association. If you join, you're likely to benefit not just receiving pigs, or receiving some kind of material assistance, but I think most importantly is receiving the education. All right, because we're going to unfold the training through the association, because we want to empower the association to be an authority for pig farmers in Grenada.
I like the Pig Farmers Association, but coming from a background that I would have liked to see a cooperative instead, where it would have been more financially viable for the members of that cooperative.
Well, it is not too late to discuss. The association is still in its preemie stage. So
because there's a plethora of advantages, in my opinion, coming from the cooperative movement. Farmers pull their resources together, and maybe that way we can face the government and say, hey, listen, listen, we want the opportunity or the ability to import our feed and sell it to among our farmers, and then at the end of a financial year, you have your AGM and the surplus is shared. You know, an association is good,
yes,
but I'm just of the opinion that a cooperative would have made a little more sense.
And again, what we would advise is that, you know, you can make that suggestion to the association, because the association is farmer-led, right? The ministry is going to provide support, but we're not going to lead the initiative. Yeah.
Richard, you'll get a call soon, okay? Gentlemen, thank you for sharing with us this morning. I really do appreciate it. And my viewing and listening audience, I'm certain that they appreciated the information, and we'd like to make it you know, a little more frequent, you know, maybe once a month, you know.
We can accommodate.
We'd like to do that, because in the final analysis, we all are going to benefit from this. You know, I think we need all hands on deck if we are going to have food security in Grenada. Okay. And it's important that we do, because with the tariffs that coming on now, steel and all kind of thing, just now they will start to put tariff on things that we can't buy. So I think one of the most important things is being able to preserve our food first and foremost, and then we look at other things. But food security is of paramount importance. So, gentlemen, again, thank you very much, Dr. Cummings and Dr. St. Bernard, for sharing and repping for us. And we really do appreciate it, and we'd like to continue that conversation in the not too distant future.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Folks, that's the conversation this morning. Stay with us. We'll be back. We've got the BBC coming up momentarily. Don't you go anywhere.